start thinking about success in general? Is there a way that you define it in terms of the initiatives that you're working on and say, hey, this was a successful initiative, or this particular thing was a success? Like, how do you start thinking about success, either in your own position, in your position now, or just in general?
So there are many ways that we do that, and we ponder that quite a bit, especially with some of these big areas, optimizing value and access. What are the clear metrics to show that we as an organization are having an impact on that, or that we as an organization are closing gaps when it comes to healthcare disparities? And how do we actually measure that? Part of what we do is look to our members to tell us what they see as success. A number of our members' organizations are involved in these efforts as well, and they're able to provide guidance. And an organization can only do so much. It's all about the membership, right? And so we see some great models out there. SCAN Healthcare is one that I'll mention, and we have members that work for SCAN Health Plan. The issue of healthcare disparities permeates everything that they do. So using something like that as a model that we can disseminate to others, I think is helpful. And then measuring uptake on that. How many other organizations have put measures in place? I'm constantly amazed and impressed when I talk to our members about some of the work that they're doing that doesn't get the notoriety that, quite frankly, it should. And how do we bring that forward? How do we surface that so that we're sharing best practices? And then, of course, part of this work will involve advocacy. Are there policy-related issues that we should be advocating for that would address some of these challenges? And I think the answer to that is yes. Now, that's pretty easy to measure what kind of traction we get on that if we're looking to see if we can get legislation passed or influence the regulatory process. Pretty easy to measure, very difficult to do, though. But I think those are some of the ways that we're looking at it. And then, of course, internally, measurement is something that we look at as we monitor our performance and the performance of our staff. So we have specific ways to do that, but learning from others, too, is part of our strategy.
Yeah. I like the approach of not only thinking of the success for you, either as an individual or as an organization, but is it deemed successful for those that you are serving? So you mentioned talking a lot to your members to see what they define or what they consider success, and then going beyond that. And I think that's a wonderful way of thinking about success too, because we're often measuring it internal. We're thinking about how do we think about it, but ultimately you're thinking internal and then external, and then you're kind of bringing it back, which I think is very useful for many people as they start thinking about kind of the circle of success, as we think about that overall.